Well, if you had let me know that you wanted me to be your bride at the very beginning, I would have let you know that that's not what I'm here for, but you didn't. So here we are.
It's time.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl L0VEB0MB, and I'm back at it again with another video. If you are new to my channel, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make videos, story times, hauls. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so it's like for the kids. You know the vibes. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, amazing. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and no matter if you're new or returning, like my video, because liking the video helps me a lot. It helps me get into the algorithm and it helps other people just like you see my videos. So if you want me to keep making story times and keep pushing out content, then help me help you by liking it. All right, y'all, so welcome back to yet another Vlogmas day. I think this is gonna be the day after I posted my last story time because I'm in the same shirt. But anyway, this is going to be a story time. Today's story time is gonna be about the time a guy tried to love burst me. Okay, I can't say the actual word on YouTube because I think I'm gonna get flagged, but I'm gonna put an emoji right here. He tried to love that me. So if you are not new here, let me give you a quick background, right? I was in a relationship for 3 years up until 2020. It was the most toxic relationship of my life. He kind of really deteriorated my self-esteem. He was just not a good boyfriend. The man was a narcissist, according to y'all. It was just a lot going on, right? So after the 3 years of dating him and just being in a tumultuous relationship, I decided to give myself a chance and just to date casually. Up until that point, I had never dated casually. I was always in monogamous relationships. Girl, I was a serial girlfriend, okay? I was a serial monogamous. I was always in a relationship. It was always my man.
My man. Bitch, your man left you for dead, hoe.
After that point in 2020, when I was finally done with my ex, I decided to start dating, right? And I thought, what better way to date than to get on an app? I wasn't gonna do Tinder because I'm not nobody's booty call, okay? And I wasn't gonna do Bumble because y'all not finna line me over some Cheddar Bay biscuits, okay? So I decided to go with Hinge. Now, there's a lot of stories that I've told about Hinge on my YouTube right now. I think I might create a playlist for it if y'all are interested in that. But I've told a few horror stories about the guys that I've met on Hinge, right? But this one, he was up there. Now this story won't be long because I only gave him 48 hours before I gave him the axe. One day I was on Hinge, right? And this is after another failed situation. This is after the last toxic relationship story time I told. I forgot what I named this guy. I think I named him Tree. Not sure. But after that situation failed and it didn't end well, I decided to get back on the app in literally like 24 hours. Because let me tell you, you can't keep a bad down, all right? So I decided to get back on the app, right? And at first it was just like, I wasn't really thinking anything of it because I think when you go through a situation where you expect a relationship to work out or you expect a budding relationship to work out and it doesn't, it really drains you and it makes you feel terrible and you're kind of just like really sad about it for a while. So even though I was on the app, I wasn't really serious about what I was doing. With that being said, I was just scrolling and going through people with no real intention of talking to them. One time I came across this guy and when I looked at his profile, I was like, he looks very familiar. He looks familiar, but I don't know where I know him from. I know I didn't go to school with him, so where do I know him from? And as I'm looking at his picture and I'm going through like his profile and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, I know him, but I'm not interested. Like, he's not my cup of tea. So I swiped against him, right? A few hours later, like 24 hours later, I'm back on the app. I'm going through the guys and I come across him again. I had never been in a situation on Hinge where I came across the same person in under 24 hours. How did you know that I denied you? How did you find me again? Why are you looking for me? My curiosity got the best of me and I decided to say yes this time just to see what he wanted and also where I knew him from. A few minutes after accepting his request, he comes into my inbox and he's like,
hey gorgeous, how are you?
And I was like, I'm doing good, how are you? So he was like,
I'm doing amazing now that you've accepted my request. How are you? I couldn't wait for you to say yes so I could talk to you, see what was up with you, blah blah blah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, like that's what's up. And then I was like, do I know you from somewhere? And he was like,
yes, we follow each other on Instagram.
So I'm like, damn, I do know you from Instagram. So I go to a picture that I saw on his profile originally and he had his Instagram handle on it. So I just clicked his Instagram handle and lo and behold, we did follow each other on Instagram. And some of the pictures he had on tagged, ooh, what jump scare. Oh my god. Ghost of Demons Past. Anyway, some of the pictures that he had on Hinge, he had on Instagram, so it added up. And I was like, oh shit, like we do follow each other, like that's so cool. And we had a lot of mutuals together, and most of my mutuals were people that I'd known from college. So we get to talking or whatever, and I'm getting to know him, you know, asking him questions or blah blah blah. At first he was super sweet, and I was like, oh, he's a nice guy, like I wonder what he's doing here. So I asked him, I was like, why are you on this app? So he tells me like, oh, he's looking for something serious. He's looking for a girlfriend, a really long-term girlfriend. He's looking for a wife eventually. Like he really wants someone in his life. That's why he's so glad that I decided to accept his, because he's been following me for a while and watching me. He was watching me on Instagram, and he thinks that I would be the perfect wife for him.
Well, hold on on that. Hold on. Now, hold on. I'm not gonna say that. Hold on.
I beg your pardon? What? There are so many things wrong with that statement. First of all, why were you watching me? And number two, what do you mean I'd be the perfect wife for you? You don't know me. You don't know me. Come on. And this is why it's so easy to get men lying, because why do you trust me so easily? You don't know me, sir. So he's talking to me whatever, and he's like, yeah, like that's what I'm looking for. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I was very clear and transparent with him. I told him that, hey, you know, I am somebody who enjoys being in relationships, and eventually I would like to find someone that I could be in a really good, healthy, stable relationship with. But for now, I am casually dating, and I'm trying to discover what I like and what I don't like. If something works out based on this app, then amazing, love that. But if it doesn't, then that's okay too. But from my end, just know that it's no pressure, and I hope that you don't pressure me either. If that works for you, then great, but if not, then like I understand as well. So he's like,
no, it's okay, you're okay, it's fine, like, you know, that sounds good to me.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Why my phone going off like that? Oh, my friend is talking to me about Potomac. Hold on, girl. I'll get right to this when we're over. When we're done, let's get to the meat and bone. Anyway, so he's telling me like, oh, that's okay, that's no problem, it sounds fine to me. So I'm like, okay, great, fantastic. So after we have that conversation, of course we're trying to get to know each other more, right? So I asked him like what he does for work, like where he lives right now, blah blah blah, where he went to school and stuff like that. So he tells me he went to school.
I started rambling and saying entirely too much, and I don't want to give out too much information about this guy, even though none of y'all are gonna know who he is. But basically he went to school in like upstate New York, which is close to where I went to school.
So I'm like, oh, okay, like that's cool, like you probably was in Syracuse a lot, huh? He was like,
Yeah, I was actually. I was in Syracuse a lot because I'm in a fraternity, and that fraternity hosts most of its like events in that region, council, wherever. They host most of it in Syracuse.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like, I don't think I've ever seen you around campus, but honestly, I wasn't really socializing much when I was on campus anyway. So I guess I would have never seen you. So he was like,
oh, that's interesting. Like, you wasn't out hanging out.
I was like, nah, not really. So he was like,
not even at the fraternity party.
I was like, especially not at the fraternity parties. He's like,
What you mean by that?
I said, I typically don't like guys in fraternities. I actually avoid y'all like the plague, like the bubonic plague. And he was like,
But what does that mean?
I was like, I don't have a problem with you personally, and I don't attribute being in a fraternity with somebody's whole personality. However, the experiences that I've had on my campus with noticing how they interact with other people, I don't want nothing to do with that. It gives me the ick. It makes me scratch a little. So he was like,
damn, like that's how you feel? Like, I guess you don't want me then.
Listen, I'm not judging you because you're in a fraternity. Like, it's all good. So he was like,
oh, okay, like, I'm just saying, because being in a fraternity is part of who I am, and if you don't like me, and if you don't like my fraternity, then I guess that means that you don't like me, and you don't want nothing to do with me.
Sir, I just said, okay, all right, I mean, okay, all I could do in that moment was tell him, like, I promise you being in a fraternity is not a determining factor of whether or not I talk to you. It's not something I gravitate towards, but we're already getting to know each other, and you seem really sweet. Like, I'm gonna keep talking to you. I'm not gonna hold it against you. Like, you're good. You're good. So he was like,
okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We're again still having a conversation of getting to know each other, and I'm like, oh hey, like, where are you from? This man tells me.
Yes.
So I was like, are you Guyanese? And he was like, no. I was like, are you Trini? He was like, no. I was like, are you African American? He was like, no.
I'm Jamaican.
Ooh! My chest. My chest could almost cave in at the moment. It was entirely too much for me. It was too much going on. I was like, you're Jamaican? He was like,
Yeah, I'm Jamaican. What happened? What's wrong? You don't like Jamaicans either?
I was like, I hate to break it to you, but typically I don't go for Jamaicans. You know what I mean? Like, typically I run from y'all, and I have very good reason to run from y'all. Dwayne, for my story times, half Jamaican. G.I. Joe, when I tell y'all that story time, Jamaican. I had another Jamaican ex before that too. In short, Jamaican. I have all good reason to say no to them. But you know what? I kind of am a clown because my boyfriend right now is Anyway, so we're talking and I'm like, yeah, like, I didn't know you were Jamaican. He was like,
well, being Jamaican is part of my culture too, and being Jamaican is a really important part to me, and if you don't like the fact that I'm Jamaican, then you can go, because it seems like you got a problem with it.
Is it me? Am I the problem, or are you the problem? Because, all right. So I'm like, again, I'm not gonna say no to you because you're Jamaican. I'm not judging you off of some factors that you can't control. Like, that is ridiculous, and that's not the type of person I am. So he's like,
oh, okay, like, I hope you really mean that, because you seem like a really sweet girl, and I would hope that you're not one of those, and da-da-da-da-da.
All right. So we keep talking to each other despite the red flags that's being thrown at me, baby. Besides the red flags being thrown at me, it was so red up in there, I had no idea what to do. The flags were just everywhere at this point. And I still was like, you know what? I'm going to give him a chance because I'm a nice girl. I'm a nice girl. I'm going to give him a chance. So we're talking, and the end of the first day goes. Like, the end of the first, you know, a few hours of us talking to each other, it goes by. I wake up the next morning and he texts me. He's like,
good morning, beautiful.
I didn't text back because I was still asleep. This man texts me again.
Damn, I really wish you would wake up. I want to talk to you.
He texted me again. He was like,
damn, you really not awake right now? Well, I hope you're getting some sleep, because I know my beautiful princess needs sleep.
what? Who is your beautiful... Is he talking to another girl that he's talking to on Hinge? You're not talking to me. Who are you talking to? I'm rubbing my eyes and shit, and I'm trying to figure out like who he's talking to like this with so much conviction, because you've only known me literally for like 6 hours. What do you mean? Can't wait for your beautiful princess to wake up. So I text him back and I'm like, hey, good morning, I'm awake now. And he's like,
oh, I can't wait for you to wake up. I missed you so much last night.
what did you miss exactly? Interesting. And so like he's asking me for my plans for the day, and I'm telling him like not much going on. I was talking to him or whatever throughout the day, like sporadically, and we're still getting to know each other because like I said, it's only been 6 hours. So I asked him what he does like for work, and he said that currently he's in a master's program, like an engineering master's program. So I was like, oh, okay, that's so cool, like you're engineer, blah blah blah. And he's like telling me all these like plans that he has and all of these things, and I was like, that's really, you know, interesting. You seem like an ambitious person, like I really respect that. So as we're talking throughout the day, everything is fine, and I do notice that he's getting ramped up. Like, he's definitely giving me a lot more energy than I was comfortable with, because I had just met him virtually. I had just met him. Like, we don't really know much about each other. Why are you pressuring me like this?
Beautiful princess, my love, my angel, my sweetie patootie, my cookie, my heart.
You know what I mean? He's calling me all types of snacks. Like, girl, it was too much. It was entirely too much for you knowing me for 12 hours at this point. Relax. It's too much. So he's talking to me or whatever, and later on that day he's like,
oh, I'm home from school and I'm home from work, like, can I call you?
So I'm like, yeah, you could call me. I'm gonna take a shower, get ready, and then you could FaceTime. So I take a shower, I get ready, and I'm like watching TV or whatever, and he FaceTimes me, and he's like,
oh my god, like, you're so beautiful. I just want to sit there and stare at you all day.
and he's looking at me like, he's looking at me in admiration and adoration on his face, and I was like, yeah. He's like,
okay, I'll stop staring at you. I'll stop staring at you now.
and I was like, thank you so much. You know, we're talking a little bit about how each other's days goes, and then he says to me,
yeah, do you want to see around my apartment?
so I'm like, what do you mean? He's like,
Do you want me to show you with my phone, like, on FaceTime, my apartment?
so I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, that sounds interesting. So he goes to show me his apartment. Now, his apartment was an apartment that he was renting, and he was at the basement of somebody's like house or whatever. So he's showing me like all the furniture, and he's showing me how he set up his little room and like the TV and all of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, that's cool. He gets to his closet, and half of the closet has clothes in it, and there are drawers at like the bottom of the closet, right? And he's like,
And yeah, when you come visit me, here's the space for you. You can put all your stuff here. I'm gonna get you lotions. I'm gonna get you deodorant, toothbrush, a towel. I'm gonna clear a space for you to do your makeup and everything when you come visit me, so my baby could be really comfortable.
Your baby? Who the hell is that? Who are you talking to? I was so confused, bro. I'm not your baby. I don't know you. I don't know you. So I was just like, oh my God, like this is too much. And I'm laughing and I'm giggling on the phone and he's like,
You like that? You like that? You like that I made space for you?
no. I'm about to put you on an FBI watch list. What is going on? So he was like,
Oh, you like that? Like, look at my baby laughing. I'm making my baby laugh.
I'm watching you. I was like, yeah, you know, that's really sweet, but like, I don't even know if or when I'll be able to come visit you. Like, and he's like,
You know, I could get you a ticket. You could come visit me this weekend.
I'm literally, at this point, I'm staring at the phone bumbleclatly. The day we were talking on the phone was Wednesday. You want me to come to DC in 3 days? So he's like,
Yeah, I could get you a train ticket. You can come to DC to visit me.
blah, blah, blah. Then he goes on to tell me that his family is coming out to DC to see him because they're so proud of him and all the work that he's doing. And they're having a barbecue for him in DC. And he wants me to come and get this, meet his mother. I said, but wait, what do you mean you want me to meet your mother? What do you... I have so many questions at this point because you don't know me and I'm just so confused about all of this. So he's like,
Yeah, I really want you to meet my mother. I think she'll really love you. She'll really like you. You're super pretty. You're so ambitious.
and I was like, oh, okay, like that's nice. I was like, but don't you think that's too much though? Like, we haven't even met each other in person and you want me to meet your mom? And he's like,
Yeah, because I mean, it's not that serious to me. It's family and friends is gonna be there, so you might as well come too.
at this point, I'm thinking that this put a bride price on my head because ain't no way you're giving me all this energy.
I forgot to mention this, but there was a point in the conversation when he decided that it was fun to go through each other's Instagram. So he was like, you go through my Instagram and I'll go through yours. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds fine. That sounds harmless. So we're going through each other's Instagrams. And when I tell you, every single comment that seemed like it was from a guy, he would bring it up. So if it was a picture posted 3 months ago and a guy commented, he would be like, oh, who's this? Who's Fly Guy 25? Who's this and that? Like literally any guy that commented, he wanted to know who he was to me and if we ever had any relations. And I thought it was strange because I'm a woman. Men comment on my pictures all the time. Like, I don't understand what you want me to do with that information or what kind of information you want to get from that. Not only that, but we just started talking to each other. I don't owe you anything. Like, you don't know these people. I barely know you to begin with. Not only that, but you were one of the guys on my Instagram. So why are you pressing me? Like, it was just very weird. And anytime I told him like, oh no, I never messed with this guy. Like, I don't even know who he is. We just follow each other on Instagram. He would always be like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. He said it in a joking manner, but I could tell he was being dead serious because like I said, it was every single comment that came from a guy. He mentioned it. Every single comment without fail.
And you're calling me baby and princess and my love and cookie and muffins and cakes. You're calling me all these things. You don't know me. I'm so confused about this. So now at this point, I'm getting extremely uncomfortable. Not to mention, I told him to stop staring at me like that on FaceTime and he kept on doing it. Like I would continuously catch him staring at me with like this lovesick puppy face. It made me so uncomfortable because I felt like I was being love bursted. I was like, this is just not, like, there's something extremely alarming about this situation. I was like, I don't know about that. Maybe I'm gonna come visit you another time, but definitely not this weekend when your whole family is there. And definitely not this weekend when I just met you. So he's like,
oh, it's not that serious, but I want you to be comfortable. So if you don't want to come this weekend, then I completely understand.
That conversation ended about like me coming over and stuff like that. And the next day, he texts me, you know,
good morning, beautiful. I hope you have a good day, Angel. I'm thinking about you. I've been so happy in the past 24 hours because I'm finally talking to you.
I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. But I definitely started being dry with him because I was just like, yeah, no, this is alarming. Like, this is so strange. You don't know anything about me. And you've been watching me. You've been waiting for me to come back. You've been trying to match with me on Hinge. Now you're clearing space for me in your apartment. You want me to come meet your family. So I immediately started to like back off of him because I was just like, this shit, bleh, like, what? So we stopped talking to each other because I stopped talking to, actually, let me clarify. So after 24 hours, I was, of course, alarmed and nervous and scared. But after 48 hours, I was like, yeah, you're done. You're done. You are done. Because it just kept ramping up. Like, he kept literally referring to me as all these pet names that we barely knew each other. It was just weird. I did not feel the same way he felt about me. And my whole thing is like, if you like me more than I like you, I'm always gonna let you know, because I don't want anybody to feel like they're being led on. So I did text him and I was like, hey, just so you know, like, I get the sense that you like me a lot more than I like you. And as you know, like, I'm looking for something casual right now. It seems like you're trying to move a lot faster than I need to move. So I just want you to let you know that I think that we should stop talking to each other, because I want you to find exactly what you're looking for. And I'm gonna let you know right now, it's not me. He did not like that, baby. He did not like that. He was like,
oh, so you wasted my time? You really wasted my time?
well, if you had let me know that you wanted me to be your bride at the very beginning, I would have let you know that that's not what I'm here for, but you didn't. So here we are. So yeah, he was like,
oh, you wasted my time. I can't believe that. That's crazy. Wow, 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 wow. I should have known better. Blah, blah, blah.
Girl, I said, okay. All right. And then that was the end of that. After that, he blocked me on Instagram. He blocked my number. Never saw or heard from him again. Never heard from him again. And that was that, because yeah, every single time I'm about to do some wild shit, God gets me out of this situation, because I've let a lot of things slide when it comes to men in my life, but that, I could not ignore how red those flags were. Like, he was showing me that he was unhinged completely, so I could not ignore that. That's the end of my story. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe and join the gang, because you're watching the whole video. You might as well stick around. Follow me on all my socials. That is Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And it's in the outro, and it's in the description box down below. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.